Right now, I am so happy, and I'll explain why in a minute, but welcome to another video. And I find myself in Gainford. So Gainford is a town in County Durham. Now, I have been working doing tree planting at a nearby place, about 40 minutes away towards Northumberland, and I needed to fill up my spring water. So I looked on findaspring.com. I just had an insight just to go on that website. I don't normally use that site. I normally find them myself on other sites because that site's not very good for England. But I went on findaspring.com and it said the closest one to me was 40 minutes away here in Gainford. Now I've looked on the pictures and I've always wanted to go and visit one of these springs that's here, and I didn't realise that it was here until I arrived and saw the plaque where there was a picture of the spring on it that I've always wanted to see. So I'm so happy about that. And already there's so much amazing information about this place. Apparently it is on the English Santiago. So apparently this English Santiago, this pilgrim's route, is connecting these sacred sites that I have, with my year of research now on this Santiago route in England, that I've visited so many sites around. The symbol is the scallop shell. It is the symbol of the Pilgrims' way of St. James. You have multiple different pilgrims routes in between these, the main one, and there's this one from here apparently that links to Santiago de Compostela in Spain, and I need to do more research on it. But my point is that I've been guided towards these different sites, and I've always found myself at these sites, and I say guided by the springs, because they are always at sites of sacred springs, always. And sites of sacred springs are always at churches or cathedrals, always, 100% of the time. It can't be argued. My research, every time I'm proven right. I say the churches came after the springs, they were built on sites of springs, and every time I'm finding that. And this has an amazing energy. I can see a big obelisk type thing behind me. I'll go and check that out after. You can see, I don't know if you can see on this camera, but this church looks amazing. The energy looks amazing. And I'm right next to the river down below me. Don't know if you can see that properly there. The river's down below me, and I'm going to be finding, I don't know if these multiple springs, there might be multiple springs, but I'm so looking forward to just paying a brief visit here. And behind this wall here is a giant obelisk directly in line with the church. Now, I have found these before on sites exactly the same as this, where they are directly in line with church and again near sacred springs. But this just proves that it's not on church land, if you know what I mean. This is the church land, the wall is here, and this is on private land. Now, what is this structure? And I won't be able to actually know. Maybe there's something on the internet, because it's on this guy's property. And there's multiple, I can see another old structure just in the distance. You won't be able to see it on the camera. But that's massive. So I have found spring number 1 already, just behind the church. You can see the church there, just behind the trees. And you can follow me down here, full of wild garlic, which I'll forage for tomorrow for lunch. Lovely with some olive oil and balsamic vinegar, this wild garlic. I'm eating so much of it this spring. And look at this, it's flowering now. But as you can come through here, this is pure spring water, probably a primary spring. As you can see, it's coming from that pipe there. So it might be difficult to fill up from here and get the water bottle underneath. But you can see there, absolutely beautiful. I'll find a way to do it. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. Look at that. So Gainford was originally an ancient spa settlement, and I've talked a lot about these ancient spas. If you go back to my other videos on Malvern, only a few videos back, That didn't get too many views actually, as I expected. That was probably the best video I've ever done documenting the springs. If you want to check that one out, Malvern Wells. I did Brecon Beacons in that video too. It was a 40-minute video, Brecon Beacons and Malvern, and that was a video I advise anyone who is interested in these springs to check that out. Wow, look at these. Somebody's just left these drawings out for people to admire. Absolutely stunning they are. That's a hare. I think it could be some sort of duck, mallard, but he's got a slightly blue head. Oh no, these are mallards. These are mallards. And a badger. Some bluebells around it. And a deer, stag at the end. Badger and a stag. Stag with berries there. The spring is in full bloom now as well. We've got the blossoms coming on the trees. What an exciting time of year it is to be alive. Everything is just glowing, it's sparkling. The light is increasing. The clocks have gone forwards. What an absolutely beautiful place. Oh, what a beautiful morning it is today. I've just been back and forth to the van about 4 times filling up my water from St Mary's Well here, because you couldn't actually fit the bottle underneath the water, so I had to get a little cup from my van and pour it bit by bit into each big bottle. And then I met a local, and just yesterday I was talking about the spa here, and there was the spring that I've always wanted to see that I didn't know was here, and the local just said that it is running, and it's been done up about 3 or 4 years ago, but it's always been running, he said. And I'm so excited now, because I actually thought it wasn't running anymore. I maybe thought that it would be coming out somewhere else, but I didn't know the actual fountain was running. So he's told me that there's a short mile or so river walk all the way to it. I've got 3 glass bottles in my rucksack ready to fill up, and I'm so excited to see it. He said that, you know, he talked about the monks used to fill up from there, which we know because this was a place of pilgrimage, you know, this whole place, Gainford. And he actually has tried the water. He says it smells sulphurous at first, but it actually tastes really nice, and it's known for this sulphur smell. So I'm doing a river walk now. The river's on my left, and I go past St Mary's Well and do a little pilgrim's route all the way to this spa. I don't know what the actual name of it, but they call it like the spa, possibly because of the healing qualities of the water. Well, let's try it. The actual path here to St Mary's Well could do with doing up a little bit. The wild garlic's kind of in the way here, and he's not. See, I nearly slipped right then, because it's all damp here, so I've had to like step over there. But as you can see, there's not actually much of a place to actually put the bottle under. All this wild garlic absolutely everywhere. Nature provides the food when we need it, and it provides what we need in abundance. So I am here at Gainford Spa. It's been about 20-25 minutes walk, but I have gone very slowly to just take in the river right here. So this is behind me, and wait until I show you what this looks like, because this is extraordinary. On all my travels around the spring so far, I have never seen anything like this. And it's right, I've smelt it. It smells extremely sulfur-like, very like rotten eggs. So I wonder what the taste is going to be like. So this is it, Gainford Spa. Look at this fountain. So this has always been running, and for some reason I had it in my head that it wasn't, and I don't know why. But it's been redone about 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know what they did 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe it'll say it on the top. I've not looked at the plaque yet, because I've come from that path there when most people come from the stairs at the lay-by. It just runs straight into the river. There's beautiful cliff faces all around. And we've got some sort of monument here. I'm glad I filled up most of the bottles at the other spring, because even though that guy said he drinks from this, it tastes not very nice. I'm very good at water taste. I'm like a water connoisseur, like a wine connoisseur is to wine. And this tastes as bad as it smells. I don't know if it'll like ease off when you put it in the bottles. I doubt it. But yeah, it's not brilliant taste. But I'm going to fill up my 3 glass bottles I've got anyway, and leave it for like medicine. I'll take a few sips a day. And I don't know if this is meant to be drunk every day with that taste or smell. Maybe the ancients knew that this water was not meant to be drunk every day, but maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not saying it isn't or it is. I'm just calling it out for its taste, but I'm sure, because it's a spa, they would have had somewhere to bathe, somewhere to drink. Maybe they would have had heated spas somewhere around here. I don't know what. Well, I'm going to have a look at the plaque after to see what they say. But I'm in love with this place. I'm in love with it. It has a very similar energy, this path, to where I'm from in Penwortham, when I was looking for St Mary's well there. And even though the well has been covered up and I'm trying to find it, I've spent years trying to find it, I've still not found it. It reminds me of that energy in the woodland. Very sacred energy, and that was on a site of an ancient pilgrim route too. This is all, the St Mary's well where I've got my water from over there, directly connected to this on a path. It's just a straight path, so it's an ancient pilgrim's path that goes from one site to the next. So there isn't much information on the plaque. It only says that this fountain that the water is coming from now is an exact replacement of the original that was done in, I think it was 2002. And there isn't much to say about the water itself, apart from that the Victorians founded this spa by, I think it was by accident, in about 1834. And I really do doubt that. I really doubt it, because these springs, like, this is an ancient pilgrim route. Ancient. So it's not just going to be founded in the 1800s. These people in the 1800s only rediscovered what was already here. That's what happened. That's what so much of the architecture and like paths and all of this stuff, they were just refounded in that period. But they always say, the historians always lie to us, saying that a lot of the stuff was discovered in that period or built in that period, when it wasn't. So there's a lot of deception around that. But this is an ancient pilgrim's route. I can feel it. They even pretty much said it on the original plaque back at the church. They said it was on the ancient Santiago pilgrim's route, symbolised by the scallop shell. So that is ancient, and they wouldn't have had a pilgrim's route if there weren't sacred springs and sacred sites involved. And the sacred sites, in my research now, the sacred sites that people are going all over the world to see, people are wondering where these energies all coming from. Why are certain pyramids and cathedrals, churches, mounds, tumuluses all built on these sites? It's because the energy, in my opinion, is emanating from the springs themselves. That is my research and my feeling at the moment towards this. I think that the springs are the foundation of every single ancient civilization. Every single, and to this day, it's the foundation of life itself. Human life, the natural world, everything. So the structures were only came to harness the water, to either honour the water, to harness the water, to make spas, to drink, to contribute towards technology. All of these different types of things were to do with the springs. You know, I would even go as far to say is the ley lines, you know, maybe emanating from certain springs. It's just a bit of an idea, but it's an idea that might have some truth into it from my research as well. But I think that definitely, you know, the rivers, the waterways, they're the earth's blood, and the ley lines are the earth's nervous system. The earth is a direct representation of the human body. You know, that is the truth, and that is because the earth is a living being. So if we see ourselves as earth, we know that by healing the earth we heal ourselves, and by healing ourselves we heal the earth. It happens at the same time. This is the age of healing, and it feels magical to be alive today and walking this ancient path of our ancestors. And I also want to just say another message in this video. I want to call out all of the water companies, not just the old water companies that were making us pay for this water and taking advantage of water because they know it's the foundation of life, but the new water companies that are coming in pretense, and sometimes, yeah, they've got pure hearts, but we don't need Kangen water. We don't need mineralized water, added minerals into our water. We don't need any technology. We don't need energetic little machines to energize our water, or even we don't need water filters. We don't need nothing. It's the springs that we need to reintroduce and get our water from again. We need to rebuild all the springs that were lost. We need to refound the springs that were lost. We need to honor the springs that are here. We need to clean the rivers. You know, I know that's separate to the springs, but you should still be able to drink from the rivers. They're not separate to the springs in the you know, overall idea of things, because they're connected, because the springs go into the rivers and then the rivers evaporate, you know, and so on and so forth. But the springs, the primary springs, are what we're meant to be drinking from, and we should be able to drink from streams and rivers if we don't have a spring nearby. So all of these different things that are coming in, Kangen water and all this nonsense that is distracting us from the truth of water once more, even though they think they're doing brilliant, or with aligned businesses and stuff like that. Water is not a business. Water is not a business. Don't make money from water. It's ridiculous, and it winds me up all the time because there's so many people doing it, thinking they're doing something great, you know, or a new idea that's just come in to help the world. All right, it's better than drinking tap water, but it's not for the future. Technology with water is not for the future. And if we think about a time, you know, way before religion, you know, before these pilgrims went to the churches on pilgrimage, our original ancestors, the original pilgrims, went to see the springs themselves, the sacred sites. It was only afterwards that the buildings were built on these sites. You know, many people don't question why were they built on specific sites, and the buildings themselves aren't the actual sacred sites. It's what was there before, and that's what the original pilgrimage was all about before it got taken over by the church. And that is what we need to bring back, and that's what I'm doing myself really. A lot of the time I'm feeling it out, and I end up at places like this and I don't actually plan it. It's like something else that's so powerful is guiding me, and it's always the springs, and it's always the natural places that feel incredible. And even where I live, you know, it's been so built up now, you know, Penworth and Preston, but if you say I've lived there so long, you know, I'm travelling, but I've lived there all my life, and I've managed to feel what the place was rather than what it is, and not just what it was, what it still holds underneath all the tarmac, because the energy never loses itself, it just gets built over. But it's that powerful that when you actually communicate with the land and spend time with it, just walking and observing in sensory contact with your surroundings, This is how I've got into such truth about what happened in Penwitham's past, Lancashire's past, Preston's past, which we've all put on the Prophecy Holding documentary. This is what I continue to do now. I'm on the road.